Now, let's talk a little bit about Intel because that's some of the big news here today. Intel trading up by 29% here this morning. Tell you what, this has actually been a great trade. We've talked about this quite a bit. We've actually traded this a few times in here. This has really been sideways since August of 2024. It's really used this $18 to $19 level as an extremely strong support. Today, on the back of this news, we're actually gapping above the 500-day moving average. We fill the gap that we had going all the way back to August 1st to 2nd. And actually, we're at the high end of the consolidation range that we were in before we broke away from this. So a lot of work technically being done here by the move on Intel. Intel shares are trading higher after the company announced it will jointly develop AI infrastructure and personal computing products with Nvidia, which will invest $5 billion in Intel stock at $23.28 per share. Now, the first question that I have here for the group, we're trading up 30% today. The news is no doubt good for Intel, but are you really moved by the $5 billion? For me, it seems like this really isn't all that much. I feel like all of the AI spending and all of the CapEx spending extremely high. $5 billion is a lot of money. But is it really enough? That would be the only follow-up question I have. I don't know if I have the answer for that yet, but that's one of the things we're looking at. Now, because this broke really early this morning, we actually don't have a story that's all polished up with all of the important things, so I'm going to review the PR here with you instead. Intel today announced a collaboration to jointly develop multiple generations of custom data center and PC products that accelerate applications and workloads across hyperscale, enterprise, and consumer markets. The company will focus on seamlessly connecting NVIDIA and Intel architectures using NVIDIA's NVLink, integrating the strength of NVIDIA's AI and accelerated computing with Intel's leading CPU technologies and x86 ecosystem to deliver cutting-edge solutions for customers. For data centers, Intel will build NVIDIA's custom x86 CPUs that NVIDIA will integrate into AI infrastructure platforms to offer to the market. For personal computing, Intel will build and offer to the market x86 systems on chips that integrate NVIDIA RTX GPU chipsets. These new x86 RTX SoCs will power a wide range of PCs that demand integration of world-class CPU and GPUs. NVIDIA will invest $5 billion in Intel's common stock at a purchase price of $23.28 per share. The investment is subject to customary closing conditions, including regulatory approval. Quote here, quote, AI is powering a new industrial revolution and reinventing every layer of the computing stack, from silicon to systems to software. At the heart of this reinvention is NVIDIA's CUDA architecture, end quote. That came from NVIDIA founder and CEO Jensen Huang. Goes on to say, this historic collaboration tightly couples NVIDIA's AI and accelerated computing stack with Intel's CPU and the vast x86 ecosystem. A fusion of two world-class platforms. Together, we will expand our ecosystem and lay the foundation for the next area of computing. Quote, Intel's x86 architecture has been foundational, to modern computing for decades, and we are innovating across our portfolio to enable the workloads of the future. That came from CEO Lip-Bu Tan. He goes on to say, Intel's leading data center and client computing platforms, combined with our process technology, manufacturing, and advanced packaging capabilities, will complement NVIDIA's AI and accelerated computing leadership to enable new breakthroughs for the industry. We appreciate the confidence in Jensen and the NVIDIA team have placed in us with their investment and look forward to the work ahead as we innovate for customers and grow the business. Now, so if you're in Intel, this is a really good day, up 30% over some moving average. We already talked about the technical area that we're taking out. So perhaps, depending on what your trade plan was, today is the day to ring that register. But the question that I have for you is there more upside given this piece of news? Is Intel suitable for a good investment entry right now, or maybe even a swing trade from some of these levels. Just kind of looking at the chart here, being greedy, if you will. I'd love for Intel to trade back down a little bit as people take profit after this piece of news and maybe hold that 500. I would just feel a little bit more confident about hanging on to Intel if we were able to add that at a support level versus just kind of chasing a PR here. So you would just love to know from the group here what you guys think about Intel and whether or not this makes a good trade. Here we go. Looks like Jared is not impressed at all. Blah, 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 Intel. Okay, Jared, so I'm guessing you don't like Intel and you will not be trading this. Let me know if anyone else has anything here on Intel. Ed saying, glad I didn't buy puts in Intel. Me too. Me too, Ed. Glad to hear that you're not losing money on that. Perry says $5 billion is not the point. Nvidia and Intel together for domestic AI is huge money. This is a good point here. And this is, Perry, you're really kind of hitting at the core of why I'm asking if this is a good place to maybe enter Intel for a longer term swing. Sounds to me like you see the other side of that. It seems to me like you think this is going to be huge for the company and represents an opportunity. That's what makes a market. That's what I absolutely love. Let's see how Intel trades here today.